Hey everyone, welcome back. This is Mandy and I'm going to try my first cloud type pour today. And I'm kind of nervous, so I'm gonna do a little test on this 8x10 canvas. And I have my spinner here just to guide me while I turn. I have probably too many colors out here too for a little 8x10 inch. I also have some flow extender out here in white and Prussian blue for the corners if need be. For my pouring medium today, I'm actually using Hughes recipe. I'll link her channel and in the description box, but it's basically 1 part golden gel gloss to 3 parts American Floetrol and then water to thin. Since I use a lot of paint that has sparkle in it, and I do sometimes use pigments and stuff, I really think that's a great recipe. So that's what I did. I also mixed my cloud mix the way she mixes hers, at least in the video that I was watching, which is equal parts Satin Enamel, DecoArt Satin Enamel to another paint, so titanium white. So it's pure white, satin enamel, titanium white. I use Blicrylic in this instance, which is Blick's store brand. It's pretty good paint. And then the rest I think is Floetrol and gel gloss as well. I'll have to double check the recipe to be sure, but I'll put it in the description box. Anyway, when I mixed it, it was a little bit thick, so I thinned it a wee bit, just a little bit. So this is kind of the consistency. It's still leaving a trace. I don't want it too thin because I like minimal clouds. I don't like them to take over. At least that's not what I'm going for. We'll see what actually happens. And for what I've seen people either put 1 layer of the cloud mix, like let it be the last color, which means it would go in your cup first. I've also seen people layer it like you would a straight pour or a ring pour. But the more you use and the thinner your paints are, from what I understand, the more cloud effect you're gonna get. And I want the cloud effect to be like an accent, not the main event. So I'm gonna try and see how accurate I got. I need gloves, I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm gonna show you the colors or walk you through the colors because I have them in squirt bottles. So for this little one, I think I'm gonna use, I have kind of a mix of colors. I have dark sea from Global, which is this color. Global I get from Pixel Paint Designs. It's an Australian paint. It's also where I get my Australian Floetrol, so I have a discount code in the description box. Mandy10 saves you 10%. I'm also going to use Blue Black from Colourarte. This is a fluid acrylic. It's a vivid intense color. So the other thing I like about Erica's pouring medium recipe is it's the perfect consistency for painting, for like ring pours and stuff like that, and it can be thinned out for Dutch pours and stuff. So fluid acrylics work great, and because you're using a gel gloss, you don't have to worry about using a paint with no body because a gel gloss is a binder. So thanks Erica for the recipe. I may use Golden Cobalt Violet Hue. This is a heavy body paint. DecoArt Turquoise. You may be able to see that. It's a shimmery color. It's a texture paint. And then I had too much DecoArt Turquoise left, and so I put it in a cup, and then I added a drop or two of Colourarte Phthalo Green and got this really cool color. So this may or may not end up in the mix. And I'm thinking for a piece this small, I don't think I need to add white, but I might add some regular white just for some contrast. And just the way I'm thinking through this, because the reason I say contrast is because all of my main colors, with the exception of the turquoise, are dark. And so I have a tendency to do that, and then you can't see the detail. So what I don't want is I don't want the white next to this, because I don't want pink. I don't mind it next to one of these darker colors. So that's my idea. I also don't want the white to be the last thing out. So that's kind of my thought process as I'm layering. So I have too many colors, I think, for this, but let's just go for it. So I'm gonna use the blue black in my cup first. By the way, I have push pins back here, and I've sprayed the back of my canvas with water to tighten up my canvas. That's always a good plan. So I'm gonna put my blue black in first because I want that to come out last. And then I think I'm gonna use just a little bit of the cloud pour, just a little bit. And then I think I'm gonna do the deep sea. And the cobalt violet hue. I have a feeling I'm gonna have too much color in here for this size canvas. And then the turquoise. A little bit more blue black. I haven't done like traditional acrylic pouring in a long time, so I'm a little bit nervous about this. A little bit more of the cloud mix. Probably using too much. Oops, sorry, there's a bug zapper on in here. A little bit more of the dark sea. I've been calling this color deep sea for a really long time now. Who knows how many people I've confused. Cobalt violet hue. I'm not using that custom color because I just think I have too many colors. And this seems like enough paint for this. And I think I'll use a little white out toward the edge because it's going to be the first thing out. And a little more blue black just because I love it. Okay. And then if I need to extend it, I can extend it with the flow extender. So I'm going to do it like hopefully a traveling straight pour. I'm going to put this tray underneath this in hopes of capturing any roll off paint. I just hope that I can, if I decide to spin it, I want to be able to spin it. Okay, here we go. I'm so nervous. I'm gonna start up high just until we kind of get our rhythm. I think my paints are too thick. I really love straight pours, and I really enjoy cloud pours when they're kind of minimal. So, but I don't know why I don't do more of them. You know, it's one of those weird things. I'm gonna travel with this a little bit because I didn't start off the best, and see if I can't make something cool. I think I used a little bit too much of a cloud mixture. It's amazing, you know, to go from doing kind of a wee bit more advanced technique like blooms. You'd think that I would be thinking that a regular acrylic pour would be a piece of cake, but I don't think that. And I'm just going to use some of this leftover paint for the corners. Yeah, I don't think that at all. And so look at the cup. The cup's cool. You know, I started with regular acrylic pouring, but it's crazy to me how kind of spoiled you get with when you practice something, sorry, I'm losing my train of thought, when you practice something for so long. So this is Prussian Blue from Soho, and it's mixed with my regular pouring medium, but I mixed it earlier today. And I have a feeling that it's a little bit bubbly, but it's really just here as a flow extender. That's really all we're using it for. It's probably not even gonna show. I'm not using white because I really do kind of want dark colors here, so yeah. This is probably way more paint than I need. But so far, I think the colors are really cool together. I think that I may have used too much of the cloud. We'll see, because it's all showing right here, but we haven't torched it, and we haven't seen what's gonna come out. So let's torch it first. Word on the street is it's better to torch first than last. And I definitely still had bubbles in there, so I'm already seeing some annoying measles. So we'll see. Maybe I should have stirred my paint up. Unfortunately, I have a lot of measles in here, but oh well, let's just try it. Can you guys see what I'm doing? Okay. I don't know why I have so many annoying air bubbles in here. I kind of like the negative space. I know we're not going to keep it, but I kind of like it. Okay. Let's see, let's bring it back to the center a little bit. I feel like something might be off about my cloud mix. I think I might have used too much water to thin it down. I don't know. It was a little thick, so. But maybe it needed to be thicker. Maybe I should have left it alone, you know? Oh, this is gonna have to be torched again. Unfortunately, there's so many bubbles in this paint. And I mixed it yesterday. Well, I mixed the flow extender today. Okay. So I'm trying to figure out exactly what's off about it. There's a lot I love about it, obviously. My blue-black has been kind of taken over, so I either needed to use a bigger block of it, or just use less of the dark sea. The dark sea is definitely trying to dominate, which is pretty, so it's okay. Let me torch it again before I stretch it all the way out, because unfortunately it needs it. And look at all the paint on my gloves. It needs it, and whether it causes measles or not, it still needs it. So I'm over here, my baby wipes are way across from me instead of where they need to be, which is right next to me, and I'm making a colossal mess. Okay. My poor torches always get resin and paint on them. Oh gosh. That's terrible bubbles. I don't understand why I have so many bubbles when I mixed this yesterday. Maybe I needed to stir it right before we used it. I don't know, you guys. Okay. I still like it. I think I should have let my white stay thick. Oh crap. I just added more white to my my cup that has the cloud mix, but it's the wrong white. Okay, there's definitely still too much paint. I'm gonna have to get rid of this negative space because it doesn't make a lot of sense. I actually thought my paints were too thick, and now I think they might be a tad too thin. But this is part of the experimenting, right? I'm gonna get rid of a little bit of this white on this side. And, you know, I have a little bit of the cloud effect, but I don't have as much as I think I'm supposed to have. So maybe I didn't use enough satin enamel. I'm not sure. Either way, it's a fun experiment. So I'll probably have to adjust slightly before I have a 14-inch out here ready to use. And the bad thing is I'm probably going to use it while I have all these bubbles anyway. So what's crazy is my blue black is almost just completely lost in here. And I know that blue black is not an opaque color, so maybe I just need to be a little bit more cognizant. So what it looks like to me, I'm no cloud pour expert, but what it looks like to me is that my cloud mix is too thin, because it's not giving me those like billowy effects. It's giving me some, but I think I need to maybe add a little bit more satin enamel to my mix. And I also think that I need to leave it thicker and not be worried about my paint being too thin. I think it actually needs to thicken up a little bit. I really don't want to torch this, but it has so many measles, they're gonna pop on their own. So I don't know. So maybe I should try on the next one to do just the cloud at the bottom and keep all the other colors distinct. What I'll probably do off camera is take a toothpick and dot these white measles. But I am gonna pause you guys before I bring you in for a close-up, and I'm gonna let this develop a little bit and see if we get any better cloud development. If not, I may just pour over this one, because like we're getting some cool cells in the white here. But I am starting to wonder if I need to adjust my paints and go again. So I may do that before I do this 14-inch. I mean, this is kind of a trial run on purpose, right? But yeah, I'll be back. We'll see what transpires. Okay, so as ridiculous as it is, I think I'm gonna go again. I still have some stuff in the bottom of this cup, so I'm gonna set it aside. I added some more satin enamel to my white, my cloud pour mix. So I think this time what I'm gonna do is just put the cloud pour mix on the bottom and not anywhere else. If I use white anywhere else, I'll use the regular white. Unfortunately, the cloud mix is going to have a lot of bubbles, but at least they would be isolated to the center, you know? So let's just see how that goes. So I'm going to layer my cup. I'm going to put it in the middle. Obviously, this is a super small painting, so we don't want a ton. I say, and then I keep pouring. I'm gonna put some blue black next to that, quite a bit more of it this time. And then I'm gonna put some of the magenta. I'm gonna use less of the dark sea. I'm gonna use the DecoArt Turquoise. I am gonna put a smidge of regular white in there. And then blue black. A little bit more of the Cobalt violet. Dark sea. Turquoise. All right, now let's just see what happens, you know? Is that enough? I think so, because we already have paint on here. On the off chance that it's not though, let me put a little bit more blue black. And a little bit more of this turquoise. Okay. Okay, I'm nervous again. Kind of doing a traveling straight pour just because, you know, why not? I probably should have gone more basic and done more like a ring pour than a traveling straight pour, because my white is going to come out way over here and that's going to be weird, but that's okay. I can already tell my white looks a little grainy. I can't tell if that's from the bubbles. Okay. Yikes, I'm losing some of my composition already. Come back. We don't want you off the side. This looks like a roly-poly. Okay, let's tilt this way a smidge. We have less measles this way. All right. Let's see. I was worried I was not going to have enough contrast without more white, but I think we did all right. I don't know why I don't do more straight pours. I think they're amazing. Okay. I wonder what happens if I just spin it. I think I need to move the composition a little bit first, because we have stuff in the background, so now we don't have to worry so much about corner to corner coverage. Look at all those stupid bubbles. What gives? I just torched you guys. I really don't want to have to torch it after it's all stretched out, but I guess I may have to. Torch it too much because this gel gloss is going to dry fast. Okay. All right, let's see. Come this way. I'm not gonna completely come off the edge because, like I said, we have some coverage. Well, maybe I should, because it's kind of messing up the composition by doing that. This is better. Yikes, bye, pretty part. yeah, I'm gonna have some of those annoying bubbles. But the cool thing is the measles shouldn't be as bad because there's not as much white in the bottom. So I hope y'all can see what I'm doing because my hands are way too dirty to find out otherwise. Okay, trying to catch as much of this paint as I can to keep it. Just cover the corner and let it come back. The composition is cool. In fact, I really kind of like how it looks like it's like fighting against each other right there. So we're gonna let some of this come, let's let it come this way, the way to the paint first. I'm a little rusty with tilting. Okay. Okay. Then I don't mind keeping some of that from the previous painting. You know what's crazy is I have, over the years, I've bought so many big canvases to do big straight pours and traveling straight pours and cloud pours on, and I'm so like chicken that I've been painting pour painting since like 2019 or something, and this is the first time I've tried a cloud pour, and I've wanted to try one for such a long time. Just crazy, you know. I try other things that are hard, and this isn't necessarily hard. It just seems like it's important to get your consistencies right. Okay. I really had my doubts about going again, but now I'm very glad we did. I can't tell if the cells that are developing over here are developing because of bubbles in the paint or because of the cloud effect. So we're gonna see. I'm trying to shift a little bit of this composition back this way, but my paint is kind of set. So I'm gonna torch it against my better judgment and let it sit for a minute just to see what develops. And I'm trying to save as much of this paint as I can because it'll be great to gather it and make a flow extender for future paintings. But I definitely like the composition of this one better. We have more defined like fingerlings in the straight pour. It does tell me that maybe my paints do actually need to be a tad thicker. So, you know, they're gonna thicken up a little bit after they sit in those containers anyway, but I can also thicken them up when I'm about to use them. So let's torch. Unfortunately, we're gonna have some weird cells. So let's see where they're gonna be funky looking. But we definitely have a little bit more of the poofiness of the cloud mix here. And we're seeing, so this is, keep in mind, this is where my cloud is right here. This is where we started. This is where the cloud is. So we're probably gonna see more cloudy effect over here. Over here, we're probably seeing regular white. So, yeah. So I'm tempted to like toothpick some of these white spots that are developing down here because they kind of look like measles, but they may actually kind of look like pearl or cloud cells in a minute. So I'm gonna hold that thought and I'm gonna leave this alone for about 5 minutes and just see. We have some really cool, now this is because I torched it. I don't know how well you can see that. Let me zoom you in. Okay, right here we have what looks like tiny little pearl cells, and they're also right here. Let me see if you can see that. And that's probably from the torching, and we use the DecoArt metallic, so that metallic color is probably producing some of its own cells. So yeah, we'll see. But I'm gonna leave it alone for just a couple minutes and see what develops. And then I'll bring you down for a close-up. And then I think I'm gonna try this on a 14-inch canvas for a different video. Okay, so nothing much really changed. It developed a little bit more right here. So I still think my mix might be slightly off. That's okay. I still like straight pours, so until I figure it out, it'll be good. So this is where our cloud mix ended and came out. We do have these cool cells here, so I think on a bigger piece we might notice more. I kind of left the white specks because I think they were caused by the cloud mixture. You can see how the metallics create cells. And I think this is cool looking here. These cells are kind of funky. So I think that might be a little bit of the cloud mixture too. But I still like it. I like it better than the first one. So you have to let me know what you think. I'm gonna go again with some different colors, so that'll be in a different video. But thanks for experimenting with me. Bye.